Hey, if right now you are not in the best financial position, you're not in the right place, there's only one thing you need to fix. And once you learn how to master your offers, you will manage to master anything in life and you will not be struggling anymore, whether it's your financial or any other status. Now you will say to me, Kristy, what do you mean making offers? Making offers means if you can find a partner in life, you have a friend in life, if you're working for someone or if someone's working for you, no matter what kind of condition that is, that means you have already made offers in life. Every day is about making offers, whether you take in an offer or you send an offer. So today I'm going to share with you how to master making offers so that your life will be significantly changed and upgraded. Nothing is really too expensive. When you complain about things that are too expensive, if you say they're too expensive, that means nobody should be able to afford it. But the fact is, when there are things that are ridiculously expensive, there are people who can afford it. So instead of saying the things are too expensive, maybe you should say, you can't afford it. But you can't afford it is not really the truth. Usually, when you say, I can't afford it, means you just choose not to afford it or you don't want to buy it. That is the truth. Well, there's another truth when you say things are too expensive. In fact, you don't have to pay it with money. There are so many other ways you can get things without paying money. What? Robbery in the bank? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is the billionaires and the richest men on the planet, if you talk to them, they have a different sense of logic thinking. What they do is, if they need to buy something that is really expensive, they don't need to think about getting money from the current bank or what they have to buy that thing. Instead, they will be thinking, if I want to buy that thing, if it's so expensive, what kind of offer can I do so that I can create an offer that I can charge someone else who can then help me to buy the thing that I need? When I change my mindset to this kind of status, my whole world is completely transformed. I was like, what? It's mind blowing. Because let's think about it. Imagine if you can buy things, anything you want, not to spend any money from your own bank, own account. Instead, all you need to do is make an amazing and creative offer, which is also why we are going to share about the importance about making offer and how you're going to make an amazing offer and what are the mistakes we should avoid, what are the things that we should learn. It's going to be fantastic. An offer means different things. When I say different things means let's put making offers into different names about offer. So there are three different types of people on this planet. The first type is an offer maker, which is obviously the thing we're talking about today. If you want to be more wealthy, you have to be an offer maker. But there's also the other type, which is offer taker. You either be the one who makes an offer or you'll be the one who takes an offer. And now the third type will be offer faker. People who pretend to make an offer, even if they made an offer, but it's a fake offer and it's actually wasting time. And sometimes they make that offer and they just like scammers, which is not good. We don't want to be the third type. We are already the first two types. We are offer makers and offer takers. But let's focus on at the offer makers at this stage because that's where the magic happens. When I say offer makers, most of the time we would be so scared of making an offer because we're scared of rejections, we're scared of all the uncertainty what will bring. But you have to remember this. I love my teacher, Myron Golden, who once said, when I say my teacher, because I listen to him all the time, every day, and I read his books as well. He says, an offer that you never make is an offer that nobody will ever take. Because if you don't make an offer, you never get chance for anyone to take your offer at all. So never be scared of making an offer. Making an offer is such a wonderful thing to do because it will transform your life, it will change your life, and it will upgrade your life as well. And one thing we also need to be clear about is money is a depreciation asset. What does it mean? Depreciation asset? Because money will only go lower and lower with its value as time goes by, unless you put this money into investment, sowing this money seeds and grow it, or invest in a business and let it grow. And that is one of the biggest mistakes when it comes to being a successful person or successful business owners. You will see there are two typical types of business owners. One is this kind of people that they only earn money and then they save the money, they never touch those money, and they will never really get better result. One story in Bible says it perfectly. And it says in the Bible, there's a master gives gold to pretty sure three people of his servant, and the master left for a year, and when he came back, the first two servants, one showing one bag, and he created more money and more wealth. And the second one did this pretty much the same thing but showing more. But the third one literally was so excited when this guy told the master, "Hey, master, I have kept everything into one place. I buried it in the backyard and open now. This is all here. Nothing's changed." And the master was so mad because the fact is, it's exactly telling us that if you want to grow your money, you cannot just keep your money there now without any change. Sometimes it might take a little bit risk to invest things by using those money. But if you never really try, you never even know, and if you never touch it, if you're not moving forward, I'm sorry to say you're only going backwards, and that's not what we want. And but if money is limited because it's depreciation product and because it is just what it is, if you don't use it, you're gonna waste it. But there's one good news, your imagination, your creativity, they are unlimited. They are infinite, which is why you can come up with one life-changing idea that can earn you 1 million per day rather than you have to keep just staying where you are, never think ahead, never take risk to do something new, and you never really think about new offers. You're not creative in your offers. That is why you're stuck. And just because you are a surgeon, this is the next thing we need to talk about. Just because you're a surgeon doesn't mean that people all need a surgery. Most of the time, the mistake we have made when it comes to making offer is because we just want everybody to take our offer and we forget about that. Not everybody needs our offer. Instead of convince people to use your service to buy you, convincing someone is completely different than persuasion. Convincing someone means you are asking someone to do the surgery when that person doesn't even need the surgery. But persuading someone is you know that the surgery is one of the only ways to help that person to recover his disease, and then you persuade that person to make a decision by himself, but by influencing him to tell him that you need this. That's completely another story. But most of the time, 90% of the people, they are always trying to persuade, persuade, I say, convince people to buy things that they don't even need, which is really a disaster. Now, I want to share with you when it comes to making an offer, there are three things only for every business in this whole entire world that you need to know which are the things that they are aligned with when you make an offer. It is nothing outside of this at all. There are three top things. Number one thing is about health. Anything related to health, it can be mental health, it can be physical health. That's why there's a lot of health industry. People are doing gymnastics or equipment that related to health or some coaching about health, physical health or mental health, personal growth because they need to improve their mental health or spiritual health. Who knows? It's all about health. Now, the second part is wealth. Many people investing because they want to earn more, they want more wealth because with wealth you can have more tools to change the world, to transform lives. And that's why many people are paying so much because they're looking for more wealth. Whether it's to grow your business, whether it's to grow your still your personal growth that will help you to grow your business because that's related to health or to wealth. And the last but not the least is a relationship. People are desperate for more and better relationships, and they can pay any amount if they can fix the relationship. Because here's the thing, is it more expensive to lose a family, lose a spouse, or it's more expensive to pay someone who can help you with those kind of stuff? Which is also why the therapist, the those psychologists and all this kind of business, they are growing so much because people need to have better relationships. It can be also parenting, it can be anything related to the relationship part. Once you understand all of this, when you start to make an offer, you will immediately know, okay, what is this aligned to? What is this client looking for, that what means to them the most? You need to find out. And I have to share the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. I don't know if you have heard this story. This is a bad story for all the kids and they read these books, like this kind of story every time. So it's basically talking about Jack and his mom. They were poor and then they only have the last cow left. And then his mom, Jack's mom, asked him to sell the cow so that they can have more money, at least to survive. And Jack brought the cow somewhere, but then when he came home, his mom was so mad. What did you do, Jack? Where's the cow? And he only brought home, I think, like a few bean seeds. Like, what is this? What are you doing? You sell our cow with the bean seeds? And his mom was so angry, and she threw all these bean seeds to the backyard. But the next day, the beans just growing so many, like a very high, like stalk all the way to the sky. Now, when Jack woke up, he was like, "Oh wow, it's amazing!" So he climbed up, and long story short, he went there, and this giant there. Anyway, Jack has brought a lot of gold and this chicken who lay gold eggs, and he keeps getting a lot of great things and wealthy stuff back home. And then they were so rich, they get rid of all the debt, they start to have new houses and everything. But then finally one day the giant find Jack and realized that he's stealing his stuff. But then Jack still ended up beat the giant and he got this this chicken who can lay gold eggs so he can have that forever and ever. Well, this story might not be the best talking about you don't give by getting things. It's kind of like a robbery, he's stealing, which is not very good concept for the kids. But the point here about the story is you need to understand in order to have the freedom, financial freedom, whatever that is to you, it's impossible to rely on just your own strength. It has to be something that's creating leverage income. Just like Jack stole that chicken who can lay gold eggs, you can go to rob the bank, whatever you do, which is terrible. Don't do that. I'm saying the person can get $1 million today, but if you don't know how to learn to earn regular leverage income, it is impossible for you to have freedom because once you finish all the money, you spend all of them, you still need to do something again. You will become a servant and a slave to the work itself. You don't want to do work because you have to do the work, because that's exactly why so many people get stuck. You only want to do things because you want to do it, and you know what you're doing is going to create wealth and great legacies and helping people. And you also have enough to feed your family and feed your next generation, the generations afterwards as well. And coming back to the key point is you need to understand the point is you have to dare to make offers. And Jack has made a great offer. Well, even though he's lucky he got this bean, the beans that he saw in the backyard, not even so, his mom threw to the backyard, but he still got way more than what he has for as a cow. Sometimes in life, you might be confused that you don't know what to sow, but as long as you remember, you need to think for a long-term game rather than short-term game, you would then get way more than others because not many people are willing to sow for a long-term game. And I want to bring another story which is really significant, and it was told in Think and Grow Rich book. And it's talking about this guy who bought a cattle and a formula by using his whole life money, $500 back then, like 60 years ago or even longer. That was a lot of money. And he only grabbed a empty cattle plus a formula on the paper. But you know what happened is then this guy became the multi times millions and millions of dollars and billionaires because that guy was the one who created Coca-Cola, and that's the formula. Sometimes you might feel like the thing that you exchange is pretty small, but don't underestimate any small seed because only seeds can grow to way more than you expect. And if you only have like a bakery, you can only have one piece and others can only have the rest and it's gone. But because what you have is a seed, and that's also why God creates seeds, because we can always have more by sowing more. It's a sowing and reaping knowledge, the sowing and reaping rules and principle. Now, in order to achieve and make amazing offers, there are a few steps I want to share with you. Number one is find the right people. You need to serve better people because you're serving the wrong people. That's also probably why you get stuck. You can know 10,000 of friends, but you're only doing business with 10 of them, and that is not successful. That is not good. Not all of them are the right people. You have to pause and think about who are the right people for you. Because once you get that thing right, everything will be right. Everything will flow to you. You won't spend any time that's wasted in anybody in your life. Well, I'm talking about the financial part and business part. You still can have great friends in life, which you can sow time and energy with them, which is great. Now, the second thing, once you get the right people and better people to serve, now you need to understand about their problems and pain points. And when I say that, you know what's funny is we are scared of problems. But if you look at those people who are very wealthy and those billionaires, they're addicted to problems because they believe the bigger the problem is, the bigger the opportunity will become. And imagine that if someone has a huge problem for you to solve and nobody else can solve it, do you think that person is willing to pay way more than what you expect? But the fact is, there's so many people in this world, they're just looking for very small problem to solve, and they're doing ordinary things, which is why they have so many competitions. In order to have less competitions, you need to be extraordinary, you need to be excellent, you need to get to be willing to find bigger problems so that you can provide bigger solutions and you can get paid way more. And that is it. 2 steps for you, which is find the right people and finding the biggest problem. Of course, the last step is to conclude those and make an amazing offer that you know how to put them as formula and blueprint so that you can share that offer to your target client. And what's funny is, what's crazy about the truth is, if you have clients in your life, you haven't sent any high ticket offers or any customized offers because the offer is not customized enough. You're expecting to sell one product, one service to every one of your clients, which is likely for some of the business types, but most of the time, every client is different. Their demand is different. Their request is different. Not everybody is willing to meet their demand and request. That's why they lose in the market. And that's why they cannot retain clients, and they're also not getting high paid clients because, again, the problems they're solving are too small to worth way more money. How to make and how to master your offers. These are the tips, these are the secrets, and these are the mistakes I've made and I've shared. And these are the formulas that you can also apply to your business, whether it's in your life, but mostly in your business, that you need to remember. When you apply those steps, you can definitely make way more offers and your life will never be the same again. God bless you. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.